Glass, and I'm a veteran of over 20 safaris, well over 20 safaris to 5 different countries, and I have a passion for getting people to Africa. So we've got this video series to answer some of your questions. It's been a while since we've done a packing video, so I felt like it was time to do an updated version. So not a lot has changed since the previous one, but a few things have. And plus this was convenient for me. I leave in another week to go to Zimbabwe on an elephant hunt. So I thought it was a good time to share some thoughts with you. What I'd like to do is I'd like to start with a couple of points. One is you want to start with a list, a packing list. Even after doing this 20 some odd times, I still have a list that I go by. I'll be glad to share that with you, or you possibly could get one from the outfitter that you're hunting with. I would always like to say that the first thing about going on safari is not to overpack. Sure, we're going to the other side of the planet. We want to take everything with us that we need, but we don't need to pack big steamer trunks and that sort of thing. So let me show you how I do it. First of all, we're going to start with a carry-on bag. So in my case, that's just going to be a backpack. Just a normal sized backpack, not something too big. I've used different ones. This Sitka one's the one I'm using right now. I've used 511 and different ones, and they all have some good aspects. You want one definitely with an exterior pocket where you can have ready access to things like your passport and that sort of thing. But the backpack, one of the things that's going to be in there is a folder full of all of my paperwork. I'm going to have all of my gun paperwork. I'm going to have an extra copy of my passport. Everything, 2 different countries I'm going to on this trip. I'm going to have all that in there, including airline itinerary, contact numbers, everything you can think of is going to be in this folder with extra copies, so in case something goes on there. I'm going to take a jacket. No matter where I'm going, I'm taking a jacket. This Sitka mountain jacket has served me well. Anything like this on most of your trips is going to work. Probably not going to need the heaviest jacket. But you want to, everything we're talking about today, you'll need to tailor to the conditions and the weather of where you're going. So that's gonna change things a little bit for you. But no matter where I'm going, if I expect it to be hot, I'm going to take a jacket like this, just in case. This is also double as a jacket for light rain and that sort of thing. I'm going to take 1 change of clothes. I'm going to have that. In this case, it's going to be shorts and a shirt, socks, underwear, and ankle gaiters, because I'm wearing shorts on this trip. That's not for everybody, but it works for me. I never travel without a neck gaiter or 2. These are treated with permethrin. All my clothes are, so they are actually a bug repellent. This is great, hot, cold, dusty, whatever. And what I'm going to do, and you don't see this a lot, and I don't know why, I'm going to pack all those clothes in a compression bag. I'm also going to have some of my other clothes in a compression bag. This is an Eagle Creek. That's the best one I've found. They're very hard to find, because they're cheap and they don't want to sell them to you because they work. They want to sell you all these packing cubes and all that sort of nonsense. If that works for you, fine. These compression bags are going to make that 1 change of clothes packed down so small, it's going to fit in the bottom of this backpack and you're not even going to know it's there. We're going on a very long airplane ride to get to Africa. I'm going to have some things for my own comfort. One is a memory foam neck pillow. There's different ones on the market. Most of them I absolutely detest. This one from Caboo has worked well for me. It's got that raised ridge, a little snap latch that snaps together to keep it on you while you sleep. That's going to help a lot. That is number 2. Number 1, always on the airplane for me, is noise canceling headphones. I've got to have the best money can buy. You're on a plane for 15 hours. Knocking out that airplane noise is going to have you arrived more rested. That's critical. I'm also going to share a pro tip with you. The IFE screen, your TV screen on the airplane, is not going to connect to these. Sorry. Luckily, if you're like me, you've got these that do come with a wire. I've got a backup plan. There's a wire in here that I can wire it in, but I'm going to use the RHA wireless. You can buy an iFly or some other ones. I'm going to plug this in, Bluetooth it to my headphones, and I'm going to sit back and be able to watch a movie and hang out there and be more comfortable. I'm also taking my own eye mask. May or may not use it. These are one of the better ones that actually has some shape to it, so it's not just pressed down your eyes like the ones they give you on the plane. That's something to keep in mind. We've got to have a few other things in our bag. Little toiletry bag, toothbrush, deodorant, whatever you need. One of these little things. If you don't have one of these, just grab a Ziploc. Don't overthink it, but whatever works for you. A little baggie with some medicine. I've got prescription medication because I'm going to a malaria area. I've got that and a couple other things that I may need, some vitamins and that sort of thing. Obviously, I'm going to have my passport, as you see here. I'm going to have an iPad, and I'm going to have that iPad on a stand, so if my TV screen on the plane craps out on me, I've got a way to watch a movie. Whatever works for you. Just download some movies on some device so you have something. I don't take a laptop. A lot of people take a laptop. That's just a personal decision. I'm going to have some extra reading glasses, a pen, and a little mini flashlight just to keep in my backpack, just as an extra. Batteries and chargers. Obviously, these days we got to have everything plugs in. I do have the brand new Anchor multi-adapter that'll adapt to a lot of different locations around the world. It's very small, USB A and C ports. That's the smallest one I've found. It's pretty cool. There's other ones on the market as well. In South Africa, you also need that larger 3-prong plug, so keep that in mind. A battery back up there, all the different cords, and again, keep in mind you're going to find places in the airport. Some of us love, to go with the newest and greatest USB-C to USB-C. You're going to still need some of the USB-As as well. So keep a few extra chargers there to make sure that everything's going to work for you. But this is what I'm going to have in the airport. One other option a lot of people like to do is to take their binoculars in their backpack. I have no problem with that. If that makes you feel better, go right ahead. I am not a proponent of taking your scopes off your rifles and putting it in your backpack. I've never had anything damaged, and you're asking for trouble in the airport. You're going to get searched, and they're going to be acting like, I don't know what they act like, but they don't know what a scope is. So for me personally, I don't advise putting scopes in the backpack. But just, you've got enough stuff here. You've got some medication, vitamins, whatever you normally do, change of clothes, jacket, stuff for the plane. We've got all that in our backpack so that if we get there and for some reason our bag doesn't arrive for a couple of days, no big deal. We're going to go on with the hunt. That's the carry-on. We'll move on to the next one after this. Now we're back with the checked bag. Yeah, one of the fun things about Africa is they do your laundry every day, and you don't have to overthink the packing. So there's quite a few things we do need, but we don't need a whole lot of clothes. So I recommend just any run-of-the-mill hard-side suitcase will be fine for this trip. I do this a lot, and they all break after 2 or 3 trips, no matter which kind it is on these long trips. And so Pelican suitcase is what I've wound up with. I love Pelican products. But for the average person, I'm just going to say any hard shell suitcase. That's what I used to do, buy one from whatever store, use it 2 or 3 trips, throw it away and get another one. That's probably the most economical way to go about it. But I do love the Pelican products, and any of those I'm going to be tempted to buy extras of. Well, some of the things we're going to have in our suitcase is a pair of boots. I'm going to have some trail running shoes on. I wear these Solomon tennis shoes that are hiking tennis shoes. I'm going to wear those on the plane, and those can be my hunting shoes in most any location in Africa. And then, so that's my lighter shoe, and then I've got my heavier, my mid-size Loas here that I love, super broken in. I've been on a lot of trips with me. Remember, break your boots in before you go. Don't take new boots overseas. I'm going to have a toiletry bag with all the pertinent things that I would need in there. Again, I might have mentioned earlier that all this clothing is sprayed with permethrin as an insect repellent. Almost anywhere you go, there's going to be ticks. You can be in the coldest time of year in the Eastern Cape of South Africa, and there will be ticks. So spraying your clothes is a great insurance policy, makes a big difference. So I'm going to have I've got my jacket in my carry-on, like I mentioned. I'm going to have a wool hoodie, just an extra one. That's kind of a good thing around the fire in the evenings. Maybe you don't want to get your regular jacket smoky and you need something just to stay a little bit warm. That's a good idea. Again, location dependent. A couple of t-shirts, short sleeve, long sleeve, wool preferably, so it can be a good layering piece. There's going to be some of these lightweight base layer long johns. No matter where I'm going, these are going, they're super light. Those can just be something to sleep in, or they may just stay in the bag. But you know what? They're so small, they don't take up any space, and they're an insurance policy wherever you go. Another insurance policy that comes with a funny story is a swimsuit. Why would you need a swimsuit on safari? Well, of course, these can just double as shorts if I need just a pair of regular shorts or whatever to sleep in, maybe, who knows. But I do have a swimsuit story because I was on a mountain hunt, an ibex hunt in Kyrgyzstan in November years ago. Why would I need a swimsuit? I don't need a swimsuit. I get over there, shoot the ibex early, wind up in the capital city in a very nice hotel for 3 or 4 days that had this spa and everything, but I needed shorts, pool, steam room, all that stuff. I didn't have any shorts. So we had to go to the Olympic pool. Luckily, it was the capital city. There was an Olympic pool, and we went to the pro shop, and I bought a Speedo. So I had some shorts to wear in November in Kyrgyzstan. So wherever I go, there's going to be some kind of shorts in there that I could use as a swimsuit if that scenario plays out again. Socks and underwear, I'm going to have different socks. I may even pack an extra pair of socks. Remember, we've got one set of clothes in our carry-on, but these are Darn Tough, these are Kuyu. I'm going to probably have at least one different kind of sock, even though I know these all work. Sometimes on a trip, your feet can get to, something maybe not quite right, even though your boots are broke in. And so something to change that up is not a bad idea to have at least one different sock maybe in the mix. A couple of shirts, again, depending on where you're going and what you're doing. My packing list is going to say 2 short sleeve, 2 long sleeve, but that's going to depend on where you're going. This trip, 2 short sleeve. 2 short sleeve shirts, 2 pairs of shorts, and 1 pair of pants. These are some Sitka pants. A lot of these hunts, you're going to do a plains game hunt in South Africa and Namibia. There's nothing wrong with wearing jeans and going on those hunts. You don't need anything special for a lot of these trips, but those just happen to be a lightweight kind of pair that works for me. But I wear shorts a lot, and again, that's not for everybody. There's a floppy hat. I'm going to Zimbabwe in March. I don't know. I hardly ever wear it. But you're going to get somewhere and it may be extremely hot, and again, doesn't take up much space, does it? Okay, Crocs, those are camp shoes. However you work it out, at the end of the day, you're going to want to kick off your boots, even if they're the lighter weight trail running tennis shoes like I wear sometimes. Still want some Crocs, maybe take a shower and go sit around the fire with the guys. Some kind of camp shoes. I'm going to have a little first aid kit. I love this little thing. Of course, I've customized this over the years. It's just a box. But I'm going to have my own stuff in there, moleskin, antibiotic cream, bandages of different kinds. But just something small. You don't need an expedition kit. Your professional hunter should have that for more serious injuries. But I just need something that I don't have to ask for a Band-Aid, and I can go take care of business there. So something little like that's great. Again, you don't have to have anything special. Get a Ziploc. Make your own first aid kit, put it in a Ziploc. I'm going to have my own soap and shampoo on all these kind of trips. And then when I'm going a lot of places, I'm going to take this Avon Skin So Soft Bug Guard. That is great bug repellent and sunscreen all in one. This is a product you won't hear a lot about, and I don't know why, because it is, as a matter of fact, the only product that will repel tsetse flies if you go to some of these more extreme safari areas. For instance, where I'm going in Zimbabwe, there will be tsetse flies, and they won't be on me. Why people don't know about that product there, I really don't know, but that's the only one that works. It's a nice lotion. It's not heavy or anything, and it can be your sunscreen. So again, we're going to pack smart. We're going to pack stuff that has 2 purposes. That's one that certainly does. I'm going to have a bag of some more medicine. I've got a couple of cold medicine, and just a couple of extra things in here. I probably got more than the average guy because I've got all kinds of allergies and problems. So my bag of medicine is going to be bigger than yours. But again, we're going a long ways. It's not that much. I'm going to have extra Ziplocs, trash bags. You want something to put dirty boots in. You want, this, that, and the other. To repackage things for the way home, have a handful of trash bags, Ziplocs, that sort of thing. I've got an extra belt. I'll have one belt on and a lightweight belt I'm packing. And then the ammo box. When you travel overseas, it is an IATA requirement. It's nothing to do with Africa. It's completely international requirement that your ammo not be in the gun case. So your ammo has to be separate. It can go separate in many different ways. The smartest way to do that is to have it in a Pelican-style locking case inside your suitcase. That's the method that we use and recommend, and it doesn't cost you an extra bag. In this case, this is a Pelican 1300. On a normal plains game hunt, you could get something like, you could go with the smaller Pelican 1200, which would hold something like 4 boxes of 300 Winchester and get you through almost any kind of hunt. This hunt, I've got some big bore ammo, and I've got to go with the larger one. A neat thing about these Pelican cases is they are used widely in the camera industry, and they're readily available used on eBay for super great prices. There's no reason to look for a cheaper box. I have this debate with people online all the time. Why in the world would you go with something, this costs 30 bucks? I think with shipping, I think it was 25 plus maybe a little shipping on eBay. And it's gonna look, it's used, but after you go overseas one time, they're all gonna look the same anyway, so who cares? But this is the one I need for the bigger bore ammo. I'm gonna have locks, I'm gonna have some extra locks in here to be able to secure that. And then one little anomaly that happens in all of Southern Africa for some reason, whether it's domestic or international, in those regional flights like I'll be taking, a lot of those airlines want you to take this out of the suitcase. Now they're not supposed to charge you for a third bag, but they want this out. So again, a heavy Pelican style case with a lock, because when you get to somewhere like Johannesburg and then you're connecting on another flight, whether it's a domestic or regional, they want to take this out. So that's the reason for a really good durable case that can get kicked around and isn't going to bust. But yeah, take extra locks. I'll usually put one on there. If you want to put two, that's fine. However many locks you put on this case, you need that many more. So I'm going to have 3 or 4 of these locks. I use TSA locks. You can use whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. This little lock is for convenience. I don't want them to be too heavy. So anyway, I've got 3 boxes of ammo for this trip. I've got 2 boxes of my 450, 400, 1 box of 300 Winchester. And so that's what I'm going to have with me as far as ammo is concerned. That pretty well covers the suitcase. And we're doing this on a high level and not covering too much detail. So I invite you to ask questions of me. And one more thing that I do that you don't see much, a lot of people want to use their carry-on backpack for their day pack. I don't do that for many, many reasons we could get into. I carry a little 511 sling pack, and this thing is already packed and ready to go. I've got a little first aid kit in here. I've got sunglasses. It's got its own pouch for sunglasses that I think is quite cool. You can just tuck those away. They're perfectly protected. My binoculars are already in here, ready to go. All I've got to do with this is when I land, is put some ammo in there. I've got my ammo belt pouches. This is the one for the big bore ammo. Binoculars. The normal belt ammo carriers. These are my favorite. These are from Dick Murray Custom Leather. As you can see, quite worn and used because they've been on so many trips. But that's going to be for my 300. I'm going to have a couple of those. Again, I'm going to have earplugs, a little tiny first aid kit, flashlight, headlamp. All of that kind of stuff is going to be in here. And it's already packed and ready to go. So yeah, it takes up a little bit of room in my suitcase. But for me, the convenience, and I do this quite a lot, it just makes a difference for me. I don't have to worry about anything. There's even tools for scopes and things in here. Just a couple little tools. That sort of thing. Extra headlamp, good flashlight. So there's 2 headlamps in here. That's one of the great things to keep in mind, is keep a headlamp handy. But anyway, my little sling pack is going to be ready. Toilet paper, don't forget the toilet paper. There's a little roll of toilet paper in there too. This thing is most of the time going to go in the back of the truck, but it's there. I've got everything I need. We'll throw some ammo in there, and I'm off to the races as soon as I hit the ground in Africa. That's it for the suitcase. Now we'll move on to the rifle case. And last but not least, the gun case. This is my Pelican 2 rifle case, the Pelican 1750, that has literally been with me all over the world. I really don't think there's a better gun case on the market. I know there's some other pretty good ones, but this one has certainly proven its worth. And so it is packed and ready to go to Zimbabwe. So let me show you what's inside. We've got everything we need in here. And first of all, what doesn't meet the eye is I'm going to have a couple things behind the phone. One, manila envelope with some paperwork. So I'm going to have anything to do with a gun. Copy of my passport, letter of invitation from the outfitter, Customs 4457. Just a handful of things, extra copy, why not? If my gun got separated from me somehow, that might be the get out of jail free card to get the gun back moving where it needs to go. Handful of targets. We always just shoot a cardboard box in Africa, but sometimes you might want your own target, and they're right there neatly tucked away. I've got 2 rifles in here and 1 little gear bag. That's all that's in this case. One thing to keep in mind, it is a rule of airlines, certain airlines. It's a rule in South Africa. It doesn't matter where the rule comes from, but the rule is no clothing in the gun case. This started in Europe, and I believe they were just, maybe the theory was people were trying to conceal something, but now it's universal. If you're traveling on a U.S. airline, destination Johannesburg, they're going to tell you no clothing in the gun case. I've had friends get caught, have to repack right there in the airport. So I'm just going to take time to show you my guns. Why not? That's the fun part, right? So we've got here Krieghoff 450-400 double rifle with a Collis optic on it, the very small red dot that I really like. This gun I've hunted dangerous game with several times, and it's really become a trusty companion for me, and I really enjoy shooting it, and it's just done well. Going after an elephant with this thing, so another elephant, should I say. Then I've got the one that I've hunted with quite a lot that I almost don't go anywhere without, and that is my Blaser R8 with a 300 Winchester barrel on it. This is a cool gun that I'm real proud of and I really enjoy hunting with, and it's got Stingray leather. It's got a Swarovski Z8 on it. It's pretty well good to go. Done quite a lot of hunting with that. It's pretty reliable and taken down quite a lot of animals. So that's my plains game gun for this trip. This is a new soft case that I got. I'm looking for something different. Lightweight, but still durable. And so that's a new addition for this trip. Just for you to take note of. And I'll have a little gear bag in here. It's not going to have a lot in it. It's going to have a couple of things in there that I'll need. Extra ammo pouch. I'm going to have a little pack of gun cleaning supplies. Just the simple stuff. You know, I'll have some gun lube, a bore snake, a few cleaning patches, and one of those flexible rods. Whatever works. You're not going to need a lot. In a lot of places you don't need anything. But one thing I would not go without is rim oil wipes. That's one thing. That, along with lens cleaners, is something I'm going to have everywhere. Probably going to have some extra ones in my Daypack and stuff like that. Locks for the gun case. I'm not going to have a long debate with everybody about locks. I do prefer TSA locks. Some people are adamant that they want to do it differently. That's fine, but do not, under any circumstances, use a key lock. It's an absolutely foolish idea. Do not do it, ever. If you don't want to use TSA, fine. Use a combination lock so that if you get separated from your gun case, someone, somewhere, can get into it and inspect it, and your gun case can come along. You get too hard on some of these things, and your gun case is going to stay home at some point. I got to have 2 for the gun case, and then I got to have 2 extras. Why do I have to have 2 for the gun case, you ask? When the Pelican 1750 comes with 4 holes, that's because I cut the other holes off. The plastic holes I cut off, I left the metal reinforced ones. Works for me. I'm also going to have some batteries. You always got some battery stash somewhere, a few extras. And then I'm going to have my trophy tags from Coppersmith. I'm going to have those in there. Leave those with the outfitter when I leave so they can attach those to my trophies and write on them. They got a blank side. They can write whatever they want. My name's already on there. Those are a good idea. You can get those free ahead of time before you go. But not a lot in the gear bag. This can be customized as long as it fits neatly. Again, everything in the gun case ought to be neat and tidy, and so that when somebody else opens it and repacks it, it doesn't cause a big mess. And they will repack it, and they will not do it very well. So try to keep things as simple as possible. One question I get a lot, probably above all else, is why don't I have the foam cut out and the gun's just sitting in there? Well, when I'm going to Africa, I've got to have a soft case when I get there. And so if I were to cut the foam, I'd have to try to customize it for these two guns for this trip. And then these soft cases are going to have to fold up somehow and go in my suitcase. And so it's kind of a hassle. Plus, when I get where I'm going, I open the gun case, grab my two cases, and head to the shooting range. I've never had a gun damaged, ever, with this Pelican and this setup. So I don't think that is a concern. But some people like to have the foam cut, and they say, well, it's faster to show people serial numbers. There's no argument there. It's just what are you going to do with the soft case? And then your foam is customized for those two rifles. And if you hunt as much as some of us get to do, the next trip is going to have two different rifles maybe, or one rifle, or something different. And so keep that in mind. Soft case, you got to have a soft case. In my case, I've taken out one layer of foam. Some people say take out all the foam. If you can make it fit, fine, but I just have the one middle layer out, and these fit in here just fine, snug, nothing moving around. One more thing, make sure the optics are pointing in. Don't have the optics pointing out to the edge of the gun case. So both my scope and my red dot are going to be on the inside for more protection. Take a look at the Pelican. If you don't have a gun case yet, they work well. This one has, I don't know when it's going to ever give it up. I kind of want a new one just because I like new stuff, but this thing's been all over the world, and I plan to keep traveling with it. Well, that's the end of my video. Again, we did things quickly, kind of high level. Didn't go into a lot of minutia, but I invite you to reach out, make comments, ask questions, give me a call, and let me know what I can do for you to help you realize that dream of getting to Africa.